Hello, Facebook family. Hello. Good to see you here. Coming to you once again with another powerful live today. The topic today for this live is something that I see a lot of people are going through right now. So I felt really inspired to jump in here, share my experience with clients, and also share my opinion as well. If this is the first time that you see my face, hi, this is so good to be here with you, sharing the space with you. My name is Ayo and I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. And today, the topic that I will be diving deep into is the topic of what happens when a client, a prospect, your audience simply say, well, I can't afford you. This is something that we hear often. Some of us not so often, others more often than we would like to hear. And there is some kind of shame created around this. I don't know if you've seen it, but with the business coaching right now, and what we see going on is there's a lot of posts on social media of people who are just exploding, and they're like, well, I just attract people seamlessly in my life, and that's how it is. And I see a lot of people, a lot of my clients, they become traumatized because they feel scared to share that this is happening in their lives, right? There is this kind of stigma, there's this kind of trauma, there's this kind of shame and guilt with people cannot afford my prices, or people just feel, entrepreneurs, business owners feel in a certain way to share that this is happening to them. It's almost like I'm not gonna speak about that because I see XYZ is crushing it, and they just share on their social media that people are just easily jumping in, finding them, wanting to work with them. And yeah, it is the reality for some people, and for other business owners this is not a reality. And I'm here to tell you that there isn't anything to be ashamed of, to feel guilty, to feel less worthy, to feel stressed about, to feel out of your power, because it is fucking normal. It happens. And here's the thing, you're gonna hear it, because this is the main excuse that people use. So the two main excuses that people use is either I can't afford you, or they're saying, well, it's not really the good time right now. So I'm gonna have another live about it's not the right time now. That's another sentence that we write here all the time. But I want first and foremost to really clear the space. Okay, I want to have this negotiation with you. Today is a crazy hair day, but I want to have this negotiation with you. I want to have this agreement between us that objection like that and you hearing this from other people, first and foremost, you treat it completely and absolutely neutral. You're neutral. You are completely neutral. You don't add any certain emotion to this. First and foremost, the most important thing is when that happened, what happens with a lot of people is that they lose their enthusiasm. Yeah, I know how it feels. In the beginning of my business, especially, I was allowing that kind of vibe and energy to affect me. And right now, not really. I'm like, well, okay. And the reason for that is because, first and foremost, I want to touch upon what's going on behind the I can't afford your service. What is really behind that? And then we're going to peel all the layers of the onion, okay? First and foremost, I can't afford your prices is often a direct sign that your prospect is not seeing the value of what you offer. They don't see it. And they might not see the value of your offer, not because you're not a worthy person or not because you're not worthy investing in. They don't just see it. Why they don't see the value in your product or service? They don't see the value because potentially it has not been communicated the right way. How does that happen? Well, it happens with poor messaging. Understand the way you express yourself, your content, the way you position yourself. So probably the way you positioned yourself was not as strong as powerful. Don't worry. Again, everybody goes through this. Like, by the time you really nail down the way you speak, it's taking time. Like, if you go back and you actually watch my lives 3 years ago, I'm gonna sound very different. If I go back and watch, and by the way, I encourage you watch other people's lives, might as well watch yours. Rewatch them. How you speak, your energy, how do you feel in the moment? So in that moment, you potentially did not present the value of your offer. So when they say I can't afford it, it means that it's not a priority for them, mainly because they didn't see the value of it. So how to remedy that? Well, bettering your content. And in my program, Path to Profit, this is one of the most important aspects. Perfecting your copy and the way you communicate your value. It's so important. Now, opening this topic here, the way you communicate your value. The way you communicate your value does not only have to do with you being a wordsmith, okay? You communicate your value not only through your words and the way you express yourself, you communicate your value with also your energy, your stand, your positioning, your expertise as well. What I found out in my practice is that people with a little bit more experience are a little bit more grounded in their value because they know they can deliver. When you are just starting, okay, when you don't have enough success stories, when you are in a situation where you feel like, but I don't know if I can really deliver this result, it creates this energetic mismatch. That's why when you watch a lot of top people in the industry that you are in, the reason why you're immediately immersed in what they have to offer is because they know their value. So first and foremost, to communicate your value, discover your own value. Okay, so what I do in Path to Profit is I take people in the program and I show them what their true value is. I anchor them in that space because when they know their value, they can just brag about it. They feel comfortable. They feel confident. So when they're with a prospect, it's an energetical exchange and they can feel that. Your words, please understand that when it comes to copy and content, your words are just a tool to express what's going on here in a written/vocal way. So what is going on here? Because your thoughts and your feelings are not material. They're not in the 3D. They're not like these eyeshadows. Like you can see them. What is happening? You need words. Your words materialize your feelings and your thoughts, right? So when you don't have an alignment in you deeply being grounded and rooted in what you offer and the results you can give people, when you communicate your value, sometimes it's not as powerful. So people will say, I can't afford your your service because they don't see value in it. I've been in situations like that. Like I've been in situations where I'll be like, I don't want to spend money on that. Not so much I can't afford it, but I will say I don't want to spend money on that. Okay. So first and foremost, when that happens, please remove ego. Please remove you just being too emotional. In business, there's one side of being emotional which helps you and another side that destroys you. You need to remove that side that does not allow you to see criticism or rejection in a positive way, which is only pinpointing what you can improve. So if you hear I can't afford you, you first and foremost remain calm. You don't freak out. You're not like, okay, I'm packing my shit, that's it, I'm gonna quit this bullshit. But you just reevaluate, have I communicated my value in the best way possible that I can? And if you feel like you can't, and if you feel like you need help, join Passive Profit. That's it. Find someone to help you. Find someone to help you. Here's the thing, guys. I mean, so many people are like, I can't really, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to craft and package my offers and my positioning and my branding. And I don't know. I just can't. I'm not good at that. There's thousands of people who are. And if it's not me, then okay, go and find someone else. But it's better be me. Okay. I'm good. So the other aspect of I can't afford you / with the value aspect is that a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, when they hear I can't afford your prices, they get into defensive mode. That's also not great, okay? You are not here to enter defensive / excuse mode. You're here to own your power in that moment. That's very important. Own your power and remain as grounded as possible, because especially if you are on a call and if you allow emotions to sip in and you lose ground, you've lost the sale completely. Okay. Then another thing that I wanted to say is that a lot of entrepreneurs, when they hear the I can't afford you, they step into this mode of like a wounded child. So the wounded child, and you feel like you need to go out there and prove your value and prove your value. First and foremost, there's a difference between communicating your value and there's a difference between proving your value. If you're forcing something, it's not gonna happen. If there's a person in front of you standing there and they're completely not aligned with you, they're not in your energy, sometimes I've been in a calls, back in the days when I'm just on that call and I'm like, what am I doing here? And that was my fault for not being really good with my qualifying process. Never again. Never, ever. Like I had one call, guys, I'm going to share this with you. I had one call 2 or 3 years ago. And it wasn't a very good qualified call. That was my worst sales call. And the lady on the call was literally almost like this on the call. And she was almost asleep. Like she was like that on the call. Almost asleep. She was as if she just went out of bed. And her hair was a mess. Everything was a mess. Literally, it looked like she literally just got out of bed. And it felt like, what are we doing here? I'm here to help you because you want to transform and you haven't arrived to the party. Like, what's going on? So in a moment like that, when I have to prove my value, it is so draining. Like, how many of you, let me know in the chat, how many of you feel super depleted when you have to prove your value? It feels almost like you're being raped, I would say. Like, it doesn't feel cool because there's a, again, very big difference between you communicating your value and you being in a situation when you need to prove yourself. And I remember very well, couple of months ago, I would say almost a year, I was on a call with a huge corporate company, and the CEO, basically the whole company was male company. There wasn't a single female, and I was the youngest, and I was pitching our services. And oh my God, I felt like I am a criminal and I need to prove myself that I'm not guilty of something. It was almost like one of these exams with a really nasty teacher. Have you felt like that? I'm here to tell you that that's a no. It's not worth it. When you feel in a situation like that, this is not your situation. This is not a situation you should stay in. This is not a situation you need control or manipulate or navigate or whatever. In situations like that, when I feel like the prospect is, yeah, I want change. Yeah, I want transformation. Yeah, I feel like I'm ready. It's like, why are we even here? Like 2022 is the year of the fuck yes energy. It's not the year of, yeah, maybe. Yeah. You know that famous audio for reels? Yeah, I did it myself. Yeah, yeah. That lame ass energy. It's not gonna work. Like, people who enter your container with that kind of a vibe, it's not going to work. Forget about it. So, when you hear I can't afford you, assess, have I communicated, not proved, communicated my value of what I'm offering. I see that entrepreneurs are struggling with communicating their value. They're like, okay, well, how do you do that? Well, I show you all that in Path to Profit. And the second thing is really identifying, okay, is this really a money situation? Because it might not be a money situation at all. Like, people will say, I can't afford you because they already have created the story that they can't afford you. It's in their head. I can't afford you. I have the story. So there's a lot of prospects that just jump on a call to see. I don't know why they even on the call. They're wasting everybody's time. They're on the call. They seem like interested, but they're just like, I'm just here to check, kind of a vibe. And in that moment, you can turn things around. I have turned things around in situations like that extremely powerfully. How did I do that? When a person is coming with the attitude, I can't afford that, identifying, first and foremost, their biggest desire and vision. What do they really want? Like, what do you fucking care about? Is a must. So when you know that, when you know what do they really want, you as a coach, you as a leader, you as a mentor, you as a guide, you as a service provider, you as an entrepreneur are 100% responsible of taking this person from the stage, and you can do that. Few have mastered this art, and this is truthfully art, where you take the person from, yeah, I'm not sure though, I don't know, I don't think I can afford this, to being like, whoa, you know what? I don't have the money right now, but I'm gonna make it happen. And I've had many people like that. Huge disclaimer here. Huge disclaimer. I don't know, and I don't stand behind the practice of, and I've seen that, of other entrepreneurs encouraging people to go in debt and be like, well, you go and borrow the money and you just do it. I never do that. But I know people who want something so bad. They want it. They're like, I want to be in this container because I know how it's going to transform my life, because the value was delivered. I want to work with you. I have to work with you because my whole body is like, ding. I want to be in your space and I want to feel that energy. And I know that just by being with you, things will change. And I know these people go and they make it happen. They either get into the zone and the energy of it, and they make a sale, they go live, they make a sale, they are like, oh my god, I just remembered that this and this prospect, and I went back and I closed this person. Like, I know situations when people will get so inspired. Just the idea of working with you will inspire them so much, they will find a way. And these are the real MVPs. Like, these are the real people, the clients like that. And I have a few right now who I know it was a situation for them to find a way to work with me. But they were like, I have to do this. Like, my whole body is telling me I have to do this. And they found a way. And the most beautiful, powerful way that empowers them. Because here's the thing. A lot of people need that gentle nudge. They need that inspiration. And sometimes you can be that inspiration for them. You working with them is an inspiration. You working with them is for them to be like, I need to get my shit in order because I want to afford this. I need to go and sell XYZ. And I have been in this situation. In fact, I'm going to give you an example. In 2016 was the first time I invested in myself in high level mentoring. The first time. And the investment was $11,000. And back then, even though I was making really good money, I wasn't still in that vortex of being like, okay, I'm going to invest. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to invest because I know it's going to come back. That was 2016. So for me, it was scary. And it was like, ooh, wow. But I really wanted to do it because I knew this experience is going to change the course of my life. I knew this experience is going to be so powerful. And not only, like, when I hear people saying, just by you investing and because of the act of investing, listen, you can still invest and be in a horrible energy. Okay, that doesn't work. But when I was presented this opportunity, for me it was a moment where I had to take a step and think, how can I make this work? Because I didn't have the $11,000 back then. That was 2016. Still, I was making really good money. I was living in a penthouse in Cape Town with an amazing view. I just moved in there. And I was just like, okay, I don't borrow money. I don't have a credit card. I don't live on credit. I don't go into debt. I don't do that because it's not comfortable. I don't feel very inspired when this happens. So what I did was I went to bed and I told myself, is this really what you truly, truly want? And I knew I truly wanted that. So what I did the following day is literally I went back to a couple of my old freelancing clients. And I asked them, hey, I know we did this project and we did it like that and we did it like that. Well, right now, do you have someone you can forward to me? Like, do you have a referral? And they were like, yeah, sure. That was the very first time ever I asked for a referral. And the money that came in, I placed them straight into the opportunity to up-level myself. So this is an example of a situation when you really can't afford it, like you don't have the money. The value is communicated. You know that you want it. And I have many, many beautiful souls who are in this space right now. They're like, I want to work with you, but I don't have the cash dollar. What I do is I have a conversation with them. We make a plan. How can this work? Because here's the truth, guys. Ladies and gentlemen watching this. As much as I'm a believer, if you want to make this fucking work, you will make this fucking work. If you're fucking ready, you're fucking ready. You're going to jump into the container. There's a number of people out there who are so absolutely amazing. And they really want to work with you. There's a bunch of people who are like, honestly, in all honesty, a waste of time and energy. They're not ready. They're nowhere close to working with you. They're not in your vibe. And you're just like, what are you even doing in my space? And there's these amazing souls that if you just navigate them, how to get into your container, if you just show them, if you just tell them, hey, you need to do this and you need to do that. In fact, I had a conversation like that last month with someone who I truly value as a client. And I know that this person wants to come and have a one-on-one mentorship with me. Of course, I'm going to navigate you in the journey. Of course, I'm going to help you, because at the end of the day, we are in this together. So if you have a situation with a client who's saying, well, I don't know how to make this work, instead of completely abandoning them, maybe spend 10 minutes and telling them, hey, I think that this is a great way for you to, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Sometimes people need guidance, and that's why you're a coach, a mentor, a guide, and all that, especially for the guides, mentors, healers who are watching. Yeah. So we have first tackled, I can't afford you. If they really financially can't afford you, what is the situation if you haven't communicated the value? But there's also a situation where they can't afford you because of the current pricing that you have. By no means lower your prices. By no means. But this is what I teach people that work with me, and this is what I teach people in the container of Path to Profit. Payment plans work. And I remember I have one person exactly in Path to Profit who was like, I don't believe in payment plans. I don't believe that people want to do that. Who would want to do that? Well, a lot of people want to do that. I'm more than happy if something is, it feels like in the beginning, it doesn't feel like I'm going to jump all in. Well, let's do a payment plan. Is this payment plan good for you? Now, there's a huge mistake that entrepreneurs do, and they customize different payment plans for different people. Are you doing this? Are you customizing different payment plans for different people? Like in the beginning, you had 2 payment plans, but then you're like, okay, I'm going to create a payment plan for you and for you and for you. And you're just there creating links and payment plans. That's not going to work in the long term. But offering different payment plans is definitely a game changer. Try that and see how it's going to go. Most of the people that I work with offer payment plans, and I'm super blessed, but I haven't heard about anybody being in a payment plan container who is like, this person didn't pay. It happens. By all means. What do you do when this happens? What do you do when a person is not in the commitment of paying the payment plan? You reestablish a conversation. You have a conversation with them. Simple. You are in a business with people. Every single business, the core of your business is people. So learning how to communicate, which is another module, super important in Path to Profit, is how to communicate your people. So you just have a conversation with that person. They're a human being. Have a conversation. Why is the commitment not happening? What's going on? What's the situation? And what needs to happen? There was one single person in Path to Profit who had difficulties with their payment plan, and I made a plan with the payment plan. And the reason why I made it is because I saw this person was feeling guilty, and I didn't want that. I don't want people in my world to feel guilty. I want people to feel empowered, because when people feel guilty, they don't show up. They're hiding. That's simple. So 3 things. Communicate your value. Make sure you communicate it in a way that it's no brainer. It's like, okay, I need to have this. This is super important. Because people make plans for things that are a priority. Okay? So here's another thing. If your prospect does not see themselves as a priority, that's another story. Like maybe it's not you. It's not your offer. It's not the price. It's not even a money thing. It's just that they don't see themselves as a priority. If you're a true master in what you do, you will be absolutely able to help this person to see their value. And there is something beautiful in a person who in the beginning are not investing in themselves because they don't see the value in themselves. But you, and here's the thing, that's why you are a fucking coach, okay? You're not just a coach to coach and have lives and lead powerful containers. You are a coach to also when you see a person on a call, in the DMs, in a conversation, or when they reach out and you see that something is going on there in terms of their own value and their own desire to invest in themselves, but they don't do it because they don't see the value in themselves. Well, you are the bridge and you are that person to take them by the hand. That's why you're so powerful. You take them by the hand and you encourage them to powerfully make the decision. Oh, here's the best person in the world. Hello, love. Good to see you. Hi, David. So I was just sharing how powerful, and David does that with people. He has this amazing power to take people by the hand and show them their value. And it's beautiful. So if you master that in your business, to show people that they are worth investing in themselves, and you can even do that in your copy. It's also part of communicating your value, because part of your value is showing other people their value, right? How powerful is that? Whatever you do, if you are able to do that with other people and complete the cycle, it's like a cycle. If you're able to close that gap, if you're able to close the cycle, how powerful is that? And also, ask questions. Ask questions that powerfully lead your prospect to realizations. And don't shame people. Like, your questions are not supposed to shame people as well. Your questions are not supposed to make people feel bad. Your questions are not like, well, listen what? If you really love yourself, you should invest in yourself. That's not going to work. That energy is not going to work. If you empower people, if you inspire them, if you show them that they can trust themselves by trusting you, things will change. And the last thing I want to tell you is that some people are truly not able to invest in you. And you just waste your time trying to convince them instead of shifting your energy and moving on. And trust me, like in love, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So if they are meant to be in your container, maybe this year they will not jump in because financially they can't, but they will remember your attitude and how you were holding space for them, and they will jump after that. It's normal that sometimes people cannot afford you, and it's okay. It's okay. Like, seriously, sometimes it has nothing to do with all the things that I just mentioned. Sometimes they really can't afford you. You never know what's going on in their life. And that's okay. Shift the energy. Find another person. Find another prospect. You do you. You work on your energy. You work on your offer. You work on perfecting yourself. And it will come back. I know it because I've been through that. I know it because I have seen it. I've seen people who 2 years ago they couldn't invest, they will jump in now. Or they couldn't invest for months, okay, they're gonna do it. Or they can't invest in a certain container and a program, but there's another one and they can invest in that one. There's endless possibilities. as long as you don't give up, as long as you making things happen. I hope this was helpful, and let me know in the comments if you love that, and I'm gonna see you again next week for another powerful training.